What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Sweat It Out podcast. Today, we have a guest who once was on this podcast before, and we're excited to have him back because this time he's here in the studio, and we're about to drop some massive energy and bombs today. Guys, he has a digital PR agency, founder of Spades Agency, TV, press, podcast, personal branding, everything PR. Guys, he's a legend. Please help us welcome the one and only JJ.
Let's go. Energy, enthusiasm, excitement. Let's give them an experience, man. Let's give these people today like actual tangible tactics that they can like implement.
100%.
Because I hate it when I hear a speaker and they like drop stuff. I'm like, dude, it's going to take me 6 months to implement, or I need 60 grand to do it. I'll give people like, oh, yo, I actually got a move today. Like I actually could implement something from today.
And it's going to fucking help me with whatever it is that I might be facing right now.
That's value. Then people go, hey, I come to this show and I actually get stuff that I can implement and learn. And it doesn't matter whether, they look like you or they look like me or they're living in India or Indiana. Like, I want people to go now.
Totally. And that's the whole thing is, let's make sure that in this podcast, in any podcast, we're actually giving people stuff that they can take home with and apply it. So JJ, speaking of application, how long have you been applying tactics, strategies, information into your own marketing agency, and where have you learned it from?
Well, dude, 16 years ago, I wanted to do two things: stand on stage and tell everybody how amazing I am. And I started my career in the Hogwarts community. I was a magician.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Magician, not musician, magician. Yeah, dude, I built
I knew the magician part. They didn't know the Hogwarts space.
Well, I say the Hogwarts space, but because people know what it is. But Hogwarts, I'm 33. Harry Potter wasn't invented. I think J.K. Rowling was thinking about probably in the middle of the first book at that time. But I started my career as a magician, and that catapulted me to countries, to cultures, to cash flow, to millions of views, bringing an experience to people, doing magic tricks at events and speaking to the Fortune 100 companies. And that was sort of like me as a soldier learning the first basics of how to do a sword, just like how to fight in the battle. And then I built from there to now, running this PR agency and really helping people amplify their brand.
That's amazing. So what would you say is the biggest thing you learned from that experience of being a magician and really building from where you started all the way to where you're at today? What was the biggest thing you learned and you can apply from being a magician to where you're at now?
It's not about being the best magician. I can teach you a card trick. Both of you can perform it. And why does the person choose you for the next party? Because it's the personality. Mm-hmm. You're likable. People aren't buying the product, they're buying you. And that's like one major tagline or thing that I talk about when I work with coaches, consultants, girls who are singers, people that run a bakery. We all know, like, hey, dude, why the bakery food isn't even that good, but I like the guy.
Yeah.
Like, he always treats me good. There's a Vietnamese lady here in Brickell. Dude, the soup isn't even that good. It's good, but she high-fives me. Hi, Jay, welcome. Can I get you anything? Like, dude, that experience is personal branding to me. And I give her my money. I give her my time. I bring friends in. So that's what I realized when I was doing magic for so many years. I wasn't the best magician, but I knew how to get a crowd, and I knew how to make people laugh, and that was a move that got people to book me more.
How long did it take you to realize that?
I started when I was 15, probably like till I was 25, right? Because you start to see patterns. Like, I love people, I love psychology. And when you start to see patterns, I'm like, the same magic trick, the same crowd, like this. I wasn't really building my career. I wasn't getting on TV or anything. So there was no new branding or new marketing. So I was like, okay, what's working here? Because I knew how to sell it. I knew how to sell me. And people aren't buying a magician. They're buying the outcome. No one's buying protein powder.
Nope.
They're buying the outcome of what happens with it. Why do you get a trainer? Yeah, it's accountable. Yeah, like they're going to help you push through. No, you want to look like that person you saw on TV because that is whatever. For some reason, you think you may get laid more. You may be just a better person. You just want to look like James Bond. Whatever you want to do, that's totally your ideal. But you buy something for the outcome of it. No one cares about a verification on Instagram. You're buying that because what is it we're going to do when I roll through on a girl's DM and she go, yo, what's up? She's like, he's verified?
The positioning.
Wow.
The positioning.
Wow. Hey, look, it's like rocking into a nightclub with a Lamborghini Aventador. That's what the verification does. I tell people, dude, all of us roll to a club. We go to 11 in a Nissan. cool, we're looking sharp. People like, they'll look at us like, they won't even look at us. We roll in a Lamborghini Aventador tomorrow. People like, yo, can everyone move, please? Welcome.
And it could be rented too.
Yeah, 100%.
Doesn't no one care? No one's going to come, hey, man, how was that to rent? They go, you're in that car. That's high value. Come into the club first. Same guys, same style, same energy, different vehicle, different perception, different outlook.
And this is something that I've noticed because it's the first time we meet, that you're very outgoing. Your vibe is amazing. It's very energetic. Were you always like this? How did you even get into magic, and were you even like, is this how you were when you were born?
Yeah, I think, my parents always, my mom's English, my dad's Sri Lankan. So he was like the immigrant that ran away from Sri Lanka and married a white girl. Right. He's like, I'm going to be the first one to marry the white girl in my family. His accent's not that strong, but for the joke, I think it hits.
It hits better.
Yeah. So he was the traveler. So I think my dad allowed me, and I think this is why it's really important, when we all have children, to really allow your child to have that confidence at a young age. So dad always would say to me, hey, if you want to go do something, go get it. If you want to go get that, ask someone. So I think he pushed me into being more outgoing and being more friendly, right? Rather than you telling the kids, don't talk to a stranger, don't do that. That will hurt you, negative. So to answer your question, it was, I think my parents at a young age told me to go out and explore, Like how many people do you know that work at like a bank or a very placid job that are really like a creative?
Yeah.
You ever met people like that? Like, dude,
I hear you.
I was a lawyer, but dude, I just want to paint. Not everybody's meant to be a lawyer, or not everybody's meant to do that job.
That's what they've been told their whole life.
Exactly. Dude, that's my Sri Lankan family, like not my internal family, but my external family. Dude, as a Sri Lankan boy, you get married at 19, you become a lawyer, a doctor, or some kind of profession that separates you from the lower class. And those jobs are like, those 5 jobs are the jobs.
You pick from
That's so funny because it's the same way in the Hispanic culture.
Yeah.
Dude, like Latin culture, the same thing. Dude, the Latin, now that I live in Miami, girls have told me, their mems from a young age said, if you're not pretty, a man won't choose you. Yeah. Which means a man won't support you and you'll be broke. Hence why women are always like, get the boobs done. Like that can be ingrained in a good way and a bad way.
Yeah, I agree. And it's so crazy because it goes to show you how the way you're raised, the way that as a parent, your parenting has a huge impact and influence in your kid's life when they become adults. And sometimes we don't realize that, especially when you're told, hey, constantly, you can't. Or when you're constantly, meeting people, they're like, oh, yeah, it's because my child's like this, So now it's like, that's what you become. So if you're always telling your child, hey, my child just doesn't like talking to people. They don't like talking to people. They don't like talking to people.
You don't like talking to people, man.
Stop. Why are they so scared? Oh, it's just that's how they are. So then you grow up and you believe that.
I get it, dude. Yeah. And I think if everyone's listening, it's like, people are probably going, that's true, because my parents used to say that to me. You know what I mean? Or I was like, especially for the money, if your parent, my mom was so like, you got to save. Like
that was our family mentality.
No, you're not buying that. That's not good for you. Yeah. Like you don't get to have that. Like you better fill that up. You can have juice on Fridays. Like you can mix juice and water, so we save it. Oh, dude.
So what's the first thing that broke you out of that mentality of realizing? Okay,
traveling. 17 years old, in Australia, we had this thing called schoolies. Schoolies is like going to spring break. Schoolies is like you finish school, you go and party down the Gold Coast. Gold Coast is like the beach area. It's like going to Tulum or Mexico. I said, instead of me going to schoolies, let me go travel. And I traveled by myself.
Wow.
That was the magic. Because when you
At
travel,
17.
Yeah, 17.
Super cool.
When you travel by yourself, all you have is 2 things. Your confidence of what you think you have and your gut. Because you have to feel. I don't know. I'm in Asia by myself with a backpack. Like, I don't speak the language, but I have to go and talk to people.
You got to figure it out.
Forced into finding how to meet people, how to make people like you, and you become very self-aware because you're in a city that, is not a first world country.
Did you do any magic tricks to get any hookups over there when you were traveling?
Of course, dude. Dude,
tell us one of the craziest stories.
Yeah,
dude,
man.
like all the whole magic. The reason why the YouTube channel was so successful when I built it in 2011, 57 million views, is I taught people magic tricks. So an everyday Joe, whether you're 15 or 55,
crazy.
Whether you want to impress your grandpa or you want to pick up a girl at the bar, yo, I want to be different. I gave people flour. And I said, dude, make croissants, make bread. Dude, chuck it in the air. I don't care. Here's the solution. Here's the outcome. Here's how you do it. Go. And I made it super easy for people to do. And people started doing magic tricks and it brings people together. Dude, if you can be the coolest guy at a party, what do a lot of boys and men, what do we all want? We all want validation as a heterosexual male, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe he's gay as well, but from what I know, as a heterosexual male, like you want to impress women. It's something in our we chase women. That's just who we are as boys, as men, and people still do it.
Been engraved since history, right? The beginning of man.
So every guy's looking for that thing to get a woman to go, hi, I'm interested, I'm curious, and girls do it. They flaunt. Look in the animal kingdom. Yeah. They flaunt. That's what women do. Look at Instagram. It's flaunt. It's attention. Girls have said that, I'm sure, on your show. I want attention. How many girls have posted up a photo? I know these girls, and they take it down. Why? Because they didn't get enough likes.
Yeah.
That's old school mentality of like, that is value for me because I need validation and I need attention.
It's just how we've been wired.
Big time.
Since humans have been created. It's
crazy.
But
and I'll let you ask your question, but the problem that I have is what we said before. People don't want to accept it and they want to put a mask on of like, dude, that's not how it is. That's not right. Dude, it's not about being right. That's who we are. Like sharks, guys like sex. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's nothing bad about that, right? But don't block the idea of who we are as people.
I think society now, and it's more so that they're putting like the energy of a man as a provider, the leader. I see more in the society now where they're trying to devalue that and say, hey, no, you know what? You don't need to do that anymore. They're trying to put more feminine energy into males in our society now, which there's nothing wrong. There's equals, but we're all equal in different ways.
I agree.
And it's kind of interesting to see how that's all playing now in our society, because now you're seeing guys that they're telling their women, hey, you know what, baby? I'll take care of the kids and you go to work. Yeah. And let's be honest, most women will say, you know what? I don't like this guy. As much as they are.
I've heard it twice already.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard it twice already.
You know that?
Yeah.
They don't like that power role change, or is it more?
I guess it was like, man, but how does my man not want to step up and have aspirations?
Right.
He's just content.
Right.
And I think when you go back, even a woman that might be more, how do I say it, might be a more masculine, dominant, masculine energy, has a role of a really good job positioning, might take the role in certain leadership stuff. Even at the end of the day, she's still a woman, likes men. She still wants to go home and feel like she can be susceptible to a guy, to a man that can hold her and be like, you're my security, you take care of me. Yeah. I know you'll hold it down at the end of the day for us.
Yes.
All women want that.
Yeah. Comfort and safety.
Because we're looked at that. We're viewed as that since mankind's been created. The creators, the hunters, the providers, the ones that when something hits the fan, we're going to step up and take charge and lead the way for our family.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of coaches now, and I think you guys have probably met these guys, dating coaches, different kinds of coaches that are helping men deal with that, because maybe it might be different for us, or maybe because we're a bit more woke. But I see 18 to 25-year-olds, a lot of boys are lost because of the Me Too movement. What can I say to a girl? Like, it's different for me because I've been a bit more woke and I've traveled and I have like this. It doesn't affect me, but I've seen people I've met as boys, they're lost, dude. The young gentlemen, they're lost. They don't know. Because not every guy's the macho quarterback, right?
And you don't have to be.
No, but they don't know. They think, well, I'm not tough, then maybe I'm gay. Well, no, maybe you're not gay. Stop going to those labels. Yeah. Maybe you need to find yourself. Maybe like your style is different, but no one's giving men the permission to explore. Or they're going, if you like this, you like this. Like, it's hard, dude, And then don't say this to a girl because you could be sued. You can't like a girl's photo anymore. She'll sue. Dude, it's the world.
So crazy.
The world is just, it must be just like a head case for a lot of boys.
It's harassment or this or that. Yeah, it's, and when you have access to these tools like social media, it makes it easier for them to poke at that.
It just elevates it because you're run by the likes and you're run by validation, and you see one thing, and then let's say your parents aren't the most supportive, and you're trying to figure out your life. Let's say you're a bit overweight, and you're like your mindset's on check, dude. You're just like you're done, and then you use other things, external things, to forget drugs, alcohol, sugar. Like, I get it, dude. I get it. So this is why it's good for people to hear us.
100%.
And me and Anthony, we're seeing this because what you're talking about, that's a huge market that's starting to come up. Now they're starting to create camps or boot camps for men to all come together and do, I guess, like training, Navy SEAL type training, male camps where men will bring their sons and they'll start training with their children.
That's great.
To how to, build, what is this? Not like a Boy Scout thing, but it's like high intense level. What are those camps called? Do you know any of the names?
I've seen about like Warrior and
like
right.
Warrior.
There was another one called I think it was called train like the SEALs.
Bedros Hooligan, right? He has
Pedro has one. There's also another one called Multiple Club, which I actually went to. The Warrior one that I mentioned. There's a few out there. Yeah. There's a few.
Warrior. I know the guy.
What's his name? Jeez.
I don't know. Have to look his name.
I have to look it up. We'll look it up. We'll send it after.
Yeah, his teachers, the guys that they're my clients, right? So they teach Sterling. You know Sterling, guy named Sterling. Yeah, Sterling. He's one of the teachers, and he was like an adult porn star, but it's got a great niche now. It's another story. But he helps men just how to be that masculine without being the buff guy, and he's got a great story of being a male escort and learning how to pleasure a woman for a living. Wow. So he has a great angle in. But I agree with you, man. Do you know Dan Pena? You know Dan Pena? Yeah. So Dan Pena I only started watching Dan Pena for the last year, but he's been like the last 20 years, he's been doing like seminars in his castle in is it Scotland?
You know who he's talking
I
about,
know who he's talking about, the old guy.
I watched an interview with him. Dude, he said before 2015, he was hitting people like a
at his event.
Dude, he was hitting because it was usually a bunch of boys who were still trying to find themselves. They were all like typical loser mentality guys, like beta males, like just not knowing who they were. Great. They came, he suited them up, and he would hit them. He would choke. He says in London Real, he said he would choke them. You mother. Just straight up choke him. Just choke him. Like, not kill him, obviously, but he would go...
Was there a waiver in there? They must have signed some shit.
He said he used to hit people, like slap them on the face, like treat them like in soldier, but he would break them. And I think...
No, now you try doing that?
I mean, man, you're talking about breaking to build them back up.
Yeah. But what does Tony Robbins say? To break through, you got to break down.
Yeah. You got to let go and break down those walls and those barriers and all the bullshit you're putting in front of your true self, who you can really be.
Right. And maybe we need that more,
I agree 100%. Now and you even see it on the sides, before, like even with parenting, and obviously I'm not saying that go ahead and beat up your kids, but it's like now as a parent, like you even have to be careful putting one finger in your child, because that child can pick up the phone and call a cop now.
Yeah.
Or look, my mom's
it takes a video of you, and
sometimes there's a moment where that kid needs a,
dude, I got caned. My dad he used to get the coat hanger, just anything. Yeah, come here,
The belt, the this. Oh my god.
Yeah, man, the belt,
the sandals.
I don't look down. Like, I'm not a marriage parent counselor enough to talk about this, but I think they must have done something right, because I didn't become a psycho.
Yeah. The thing is sometimes
did you guys get hit?
Oh yeah. We're Cuban families.
Like, it's not like you were like, hey, let's talk about everything on a
No, there was no.
Like, hey, go.
Hey, get your ass over here right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't you fucking talk to your mom like that?
Yeah. Don't raise your voice. Go to your room.
Dude, I'll tell you right now. I remember one time I said something to my mom. I think I was like 10, 11. My mom goes, come over here. And then I was already like this, pissed, crying. And my mom grabbed me by the head and she shoved a bar of soap in my mouth. She's like, you're going to clean your fucking mouth. And I was like spinning. I'm like freaking out.
But you say that now?
And And I was like always very cautious of telling my mom anything like disrespectful to her, like about her. Like, because I was like, I don't want soap in my mouth. So sometimes you need that wake up call.
I have no problems. I think there's a finesse way of doing it.
There's a finesse way of doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and you hear stories of over abuse, and we're not saying that. That's clearly not what 100%. We're saying. But there has to be a level of discipline and a wake up at certain moments in somebody's life where it's like, hey, snap out of your shit.
Yeah.
Like, snap out of your shit and get on your 2 feet and start doing what you're supposed to do.
You know, I was thinking of doing, and you know, this is the first time I've said it on air, I was thinking of doing a 7-day entrepreneur conference because everyone who wants to be an entrepreneur. Okay, great.
We're going to hit people.
7 days. 7 days. And I want to have every day doing something that an entrepreneur faces and deals with. First day, getting up at 4 a.m, like, you know, some days you get up early, so, you know, but dealing with the feeling of no sleep, right? That should be 1 day of just like going through a day of no sleep. You better get used to that. Day 2, making 500 cold calls. You better get used to rejecting. Day 3, having to do something you've never done before, and just there's no rules, there's no help. Like, imagine 7 days of an entrepreneur, like what they go through, and at the end of the 7, hey, now you understand. Now you're welcome back to the real world.
Yeah.
I'll
do this every day.
Yeah, kind of a deal like, yo, what's up? Like, yeah, send me money. Yeah, Jake Paul. Dude,
that's not real.
Not even Jake can do that.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
if you actually, I remember hearing a thing from Jake. There was an interview they did for him, and he goes, if you guys really understood the late nights and the stuff that I would have to sit and detail plan my videos, my this, my that. And I remember he was explaining this whole method stuff, and I think there was one thing he took us through today, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, this guy is fucking doing some crazy work here. You know, because we only see the facade of, that viral video blew up. He's making millions. And you don't see the chemistry, the work, the preparation, everything it took behind the scenes to make that one moment for that one idea to
Dude,
happen.
I used to live in Hollywood, and they were living on 1600 Bryan. That was the content house. Like, talk about the content house. And they were... Like, I didn't see them ever, but they were constantly shooting all day. You'd see them running around, doing videos. You go back to Logan Paul's latest, like, old vlogs, you'll see them. You'll see Hollywood.
Remember?
Yeah, they're just shooting constantly. And they had a ban on, you're not allowed to shoot content there anymore. Videos. You know why? Because of those guys. Because they ruined it, but they did so much.
Where they're at now.
Yeah, look where they're at now. But it just shows you that every day, all day, wake up, they would sit, what are we going to shoot today? Shoot it.
Consistency. And that's why, like, even when it comes to branding now, you know, branding yourself and putting yourself out there, and don't get me wrong, there's ways to do it differently. There's ways to bring out yourself, your personality, and stand out. But at the end of the day, it starts with that, the consistency. You don't have a brand if you're not consistent, you know, and you're not repeating every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I say this on a live every day. I think people are impressed with people who show up, right? Wow, he shows up. I couldn't do that. Well, they've told themselves they can't do it. But the consistency, right, is just people, like, how can you fake 500 videos on YouTube? That's what I did. You cannot fake that. You can't. Because you see my face change. Unless I've figured out some kind of trick, maybe, but let's just be real. Or I just have done the work. Dude, no one can take that away from you. Like, no one can say, dude, that's why it's great to document your story. Because whatever happens in the future, they can't drill you if they can see it.
They can't use it against you.
They can't.
It's like the Eminem rap battle.
Right.
Yeah.
He literally dissed himself completely to the point where he's like, what can you say about me now?
Dude, Pink said that too. She says that before any time I have a problem, I share it first, and the media can't get me with that. I'm like, I love that. So and if anyone's listening, always make fun of yourself. Always tell the obvious. Because what are they going to get you for?
Is this something you tell your clients, especially working with you in the agency portion? Do you help them put together how to release all that in a right way, and then that way it's like you're positioning yourself actually to win?
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing with my agency is a lot of people have sold their company or they've made millions and they've never shared their true self before. They've covered it with a product, with a brand, with a television commercial. They've never revealed themselves. So I think the first element, it's the same thing with you guys with training. Everyone's done it the one way. Maybe now they have to do it a different way. So my thing is, like, I have to show people they can share without being too vulnerable. And as I typically have men as clients, it's very hard for a 45-year-old male who's built a company for 20 years, who's sold it for 10, 20, 50 mil. And now you have to tell him that he has to reveal. Dude, he's like, no. So it's like, okay, dude, this is how you do it. Have to, like, take it to him with slowly. So it's more I give them actually what they're paying for is confidence, but they're buying PR.
Totally.
But no one wants to say here's a lot of money for confidence.
And then also on your, like, and also it takes a lot of, like, you know, obviously you do amazing at what you do and you've helped so many people, but it's like those are people in a position where it's like you might even deal with people who are making way more money than you, and you're there telling them, hey, you need to do this. And sometimes those egos get in the way. They're like, what is this guy telling me? And I'm making all this money. Well, I'm gonna show him and that's the mentality of a lot of the older folks or generation not realizing, well, this is where the shift is going, guys. Like that worked for you, and yes, you had so much money to keep you going, but if you want to keep this going, you need to start shifting the way you're doing things.
I think so many people, man, they get caught up in what worked in 1992.
Oh, yeah.
Like, bro, congratulations and thank you for sharing in what you created. This is 2022.
Yeah.
Like, that may work, but most likely it probably doesn't work. And now you have to let go. And I think with what happened with the pandemic recently, the biggest thing that I had to deal with was letting go of what I was doing. Like, completely stopping. Dude, I couldn't speak at live events anymore. I wasn't really happy either, but that was hard for me to let that go because I didn't. Dude, no one was playing to like, oh, the pandemic's coming. Great, my plan.
Totally.
People had restaurants in LA for 30 years. This lady had an Italian restaurant. I remember speaking to her. She's like, that's what I've done. Down. My mum taught me how to cook homemade fresh pasta. That's what I did. I didn't like, now I'm going to start doing a cooking show. Like, it's so that what you're saying is allowing that ego, letting that ego go and going, I don't know, and it's okay, and I've had success. Now it's time to learn something new.
And that's why I always say you can't control the uncontrollable. You can only control yourself.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, that's hard to do, especially when for years we've talked about it. How do you get out of that label or that perception that other people have of you? Like, you're working with guys who are high-level professionals. Yeah. How are you breaking them out of their perception of what they see themselves in and then rebranding them, I guess, to build their new label to the world?
It's like anything, same thing with the gym. Don't go in and take someone who's overweight to start doing 8 hours a day. That's why the Biggest Loser there's Biggest Loser success show. Have you know this? Yeah. The studies of how many people put the weight back on after the show. You know this?
The rebound effect.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
There were. Don't hold me to this, but let's say out of the 20 people on the show, at least 15 would go back to the weight or even more. Dude, that's crazy. Why? Because it's not real.
No, and and the thing is, people, you can't sustain that aggressive approach of killing yourself every day to lose that weight. It's impossible. And it's actually not good for you.
Dude,
it's
8
not
hours
good for
a day with 3 trainers and someone monitoring the fridge. You go home, hey, thank you so much for the TV show. Awesome. Now you're at home alone. It's 11 a.m. The fridge is there. Domino's numbers there.
And you're not doing 8 hours of training a day.
Dude, no one's in your corner. Like there's no accountability and support. So to your question, it's taking it slow with them. It's dealing with all the fears that are going to come up. And because we know our industries, we know where the pains are, the problems are. So waiting for that to come up and then doing it enough so that they get some kind of validation from an external party. Yeah. So for example, I'll get them to create a video of who I am, what I do, and what I'm about. Hey, my name's Jay. I was a magician and I wasn't happy being a speaker. I wasn't excited. Pandemic happened and I moved on to something that makes me come alive, and this is who I am. 1 minute, right? Mm-hmm. I tell them to post it. That's the hardest part. I tell them to press the button because they have to jump off the bungee jump. Yep. You can't push someone. And then guess what happens? The next day, they get their friend on Facebook. They've known for 10 years. I love this. That's it.
They're like, whoa.
I've been paid. That feeling of validation from someone that, other than their wife or their kids, they're like, oh, this shit works.
Yep. It's so true. It's so true. And then I'll tell you right now, it's like, even having worked with so many fitness coaches, me teaching them how to build their online businesses and their social medias and getting them that exposure, one of the biggest things that I would have to deal with is especially, when you're dealing with people who are very testosterone driven, gym setting, very, high energy. Right. There's a lot of ego there. There's a lot of also to alpha mentality. And, it's a major realization they have to make when they're getting ready to step into that space and say, you know what, I need to drop this shit and realize that they're just trying to help me. Right. Or this is what's going to take me to that next level.
Is this going from fitness coach, like he has like 10 clients and now creating it as a business, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, into a scalable and something more scalable, or shifting from, during the pandemic, I'll give you the example is a lot of these coaches, and I'll tell you a little bit of my story. Like I had a lot of coaches, friends and everything. Yeah. Anthony, you're crazy. How can you expect to put all your eggs in that online stuff that you're doing in social media? Like, nothing's gonna get rid of in-person training. This is when I did online fitness coaching.
Right.
So I moved from in-person coaching to online fitness coaching. My social media was taking off, and I said, guys, this is the future. This is the future.
Right.
Not knowing there was no pandemic or anything. Years later, so I did online fitness coaching from like 2016, and all the way through. I had a few in-person clients, and then I had dropped the rest of my in-person clients, focused on online fitness, and I said, holy crap, I'm killing this. Right. Let me start teaching coaches how to do this. And it was about a few months before COVID happened. I transitioned. I said, I'm going to be a fitness business coach. And that's what I started doing. I started teaching the coaches how to build their online businesses. And they're like, Anthony, you're getting into market. Like, most coaches want to train in person. That's not going to do too well. Yeah. First thing that happened when COVID hit, all those same people hitting me up. Anthony, I need help. Bro, you're the coach out there that knows how to use social media and the online, and you got it. Bro, I need your help. It was so crazy because I was getting so bombarded. I was like, dude, I can't take you on. Like, I have way too many people already. And they're like, no, you got to tell me. And I was like, remember when I told you years ago to start getting your feet wet? Yeah. And you didn't listen to me? You know, and it's crazy because going back, we get so stuck in one way of doing things because we're so used to that. And we're like, that's our only skill set. And we don't allow ourselves to figure out other skill sets we might have. And that's the point I'm trying to make, to allow us to diversify and make people realize you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, when you're starting something, put your energy in that, expand it. And then once you get that going, you need to say, well, what's another vertical I can start growing? Because this is not guaranteed. And I think that that's where a lot of people nowadays are realizing, well, in the market, in the world we live in, the market, you're seeing prices shooting up like crazy. And we talk about it all the time with inflation. Well, your one job is not going to make you survive anymore. You know, you have to say, how can I get creative and do other things and explore other things? Because I need to first survive and also realize, well, if I want to be able to stay where I'm at, I need to be able to capitalize and I need to be able to build. And I think that moving forward, we're realizing that you can do so much more than than that one thing that you've been doing for so long. And we're just becoming, I think as people are realizing with the internet, we can become more resourceful with all these resources and just do more and not just focus on that one thing. We always thought that's it for us.
Right.
This is our life.
I think we've realized throughout the pandemic that things can happen we're not expected, you know? Dude, we just dealt with that. No one planned that. So now, it's okay now. Start something fresh. Start something new. Isn't that crazy? Like, now you literally are totally allowed to completely go in a different direction. And it's
at whatever age.
At any age, at anything. And it's sort of like, no one can question you for it because it's like, well, the whole world had to go through something. So it's like this, the power of the pivot. It's like it gave me like happiness again, fulfillment, you know. Most cash flow I've ever made was 2021 in my life. And I thought I never did well because in the entertainment industry, it's so hot and cold. I thought, I already hit like pretty cool events and flying. That was 2 out of 10. The feeling of waking up and doing something and seeing instant result or like helping people. And then hey man, here's money. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, but it's really exciting.
Dude, it is.
Oh my God, that's crazy, man. And I love how we're talking about this, transitioning, taking the next step. Did you ever get shit from your family about you even doing magic and the career path that you chose?
Dude, no. I had it from like maybe 17, because I was starting at 15. So like I was already doing gigs in school, I think for the first 3 years. And then my parents like, well, he's not in jail and he's not doing drugs.
Good with that.
There you
Let's go. You know,
we don't have to hit him.
I'm fortunate. Like I got that drilled out of me. I've been traveling so many years now. You know, I've been over 30 countries. My parents know like we can't stop him now. Like he's already running. You know, I think where a lot of people still don't get it though is that, you know, a lot of people are in a very closed off mindset, dude. You know, they're in a very like. Especially, you know, I'm single, I'm not married, I'm 33, like I moved a lot. It's very hard for people to understand it. You know? People, when people don't understand it, that's when they judge. That's why I tell you, the more you travel, the more you learn, the less you judge. Dude, I've had a $1 bowl of Vietnamese soup in Vietnam and I've had the $500 piece of Wagyu in Tokyo. You know, I've gone to the nightclubs in Vegas and, you know, I've, you know, lived on my friend's couch, right? When you see the world like that, you understand it.
Yeah.
You get it. And I think so many people in our space, a lot of people, they just don't get your world. So that, people who work the 9-to-5 job or 9-to-5 life and they're married and kids, that's their world. That's their box. So anything out of that, they don't get. They just, I don't like it. It's not you don't like it. You don't get it. Let's change your labeling.
And you haven't allowed yourself to step out of that space and experience something else.
Why? Because it's scary.
Yeah, but everything's scary.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's what I tell people all the time, Like, great. I love when people bring up something and I just cut it down. Hey, I'm shy. I'm an introvert. Awesome. What else? You scared? Great. Next. Let's go. I don't get caught up in the emotion of what controls people.
I want to talk a little bit about the shy introvert thing, because I know you're a big advocate of bringing that up, and I love how you bring it up all the time, because it's so true. Like, when you tell yourself something over and over again, you become it. And I want you to dive in on that.
So a lot of the things that personal branding is unique. Personal branding, there wasn't really a name of this 5 years ago. There was personal branding it's a new phrase. It's like influencer.
Yeah.
We've always influenced people, but now it's like I'm an influencer and I'm proud of it. Mm-hmm. So in the space that I play, I'm always like curious to hear the fears that are going to come up. Okay. Hey, what do you do now? Okay, great. Where do you want to go? Awesome. How much money do you make? Great. What's holding you back from getting there? Okay, cool. How is your personal branding? Are you doing content? Okay, why not? Okay. And then I'm waiting for all the fears to come up. Well, Jay, I'm not like Anthony or you guys. I'm not those kind of guys. Or I don't have a pocket square. I don't have a jawline like yours. I'm not Australian. I'm not pretty. I'm not a personality. I'm not this. I'm not. And I want to vomit up all the excuses. And if I can, I try and record them, because I want to play it back to them. It's easier if you hear yourself say it than me tell you back to you, right? So I want it all to come up, especially on a Zoom. Okay, cool. What else, man? Great. So you're shy, you're an introvert, you're not Australian, you're not attractive, you're not that person. Great. And I do this. Hey, Anthony, let me ask you a question. Who told you you're shy? Who told you you're an introvert? And I wait for the pin to drop, and they go, I told myself that. And that's a super powerful moment when you're with someone, because they've realized what they've been telling themselves their whole life. And actually, it's quite emotional for me, because you can see the soul of someone when they've realized, because it isn't just the moment, it's their whole life.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then they believe you, and you're like, you're 100% right. And now you can hear them say without them saying it, help me.
So for anybody out there who maybe they're probably themselves asking themselves that same thing you just walked them through, what's the next step from there for them to start owning that new person they want to be?
Before you can control something, you got to voice it. You got to say it. I'm scared. Okay, I don't know. I don't have the money. Great. Let's voice that, because once you voice it and see it, then you can fix it or control it. So owning that, and then getting someone who knows more than you and investing your time or money with them, however their currency is, however it is. But don't take your ego out of it. It's okay, man. I don't know. It's fine. People get caught up in the labels. Like, dude, Stop valuing because you don't know as you're less of a person. Dude, if you're not good with women, go and find out. Go get help, right? If you want to be a better chef, if you're not great at knowing how to train, go get you guys. If you want to build a fitness business, say, dude, I don't know how to do it. Can you help me? You know how revealing and confident and convicted you are? Like, that's so hot when someone's convicted in, like, this is where I'm at. Please help me. No one who says that these days.
Nobody.
No, I don't.
It's the pride.
I don't need anything, man. I'm killing it with the women. Every woman wants to get back to me. Like, I'm killing in my business.
It's a pride thing.
Great, man. How much do you make a year? Great. How many women do you sleep with? Like, if you want to play that game, let's play. Oh, I don't share those details.
Yeah.
Dude, you're scared, and it's okay. Just take the ego out. Let's use it for later. Yeah. Let's help me.
Or why haven't you been able to do that yourself?
Because people like to live in a comforting lie than the uncomfortable truth.
Oh, bam, there you go. There's the content piece.
That's the content piece.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? This is why I love these podcasts, because it allows men and women to go, you know what? There are people that I feel like I can connect with, and this is why that authenticity comes through, is it's okay, dude. Like, who's telling you that? It's okay, dude.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. Don't let that value you.
And that's what happens. And usually, it starts from, a lot of times your parents, a family member,
1,000%.
friends, and then you end up telling yourself that over and over again, which is, again, you're the one that kept telling yourself that
You're digging
for
your own
years.
hole, putting the dirt back on
For
yourself
years.
as you're going down.
And you can't blame those people if that's all they knew back then, because if that's what they were around, and they weren't around people elevating them or other influential people, true influential people who have gotten out of that before, and you're just stuck in your bubble, then hey, I understand why that, but it's time to get out of that, because
that's why
you have other people around you now.
Yeah, and that's why these things now, access to the internet, access to podcasts and TV, that someone might be listening right now and their husband or wife, their family they live with, is just not in their corner to bring them up. This may trigger them to go, it's time. I got to do something.
Yeah. So what do you do in a situation, I'm sure you've had it before, where you might have some clients who really want to take things to the next level, who are really breaking themselves out, getting that brand up, building it with you, and they have a business partner or they have a significant other and they're just holding them back? What do you do in that situation? What kind of advice do you give?
I think I'm like a real friendly, fun, I'm very engaging guy, but I'm very tough when it comes to like growth. Because when I wanted to play pro soccer, like my coach was like, there are 11 players on the field. You're a right wing. You and the striker are the most popular choices here. There are guys hungry to take your role down. So there was no like, maybe next time.
Yeah.
So I was drilled in from a young age of being really tough. I think you have to have a really open conversation with them. And that takes time too, because not everybody's naked with you. I call the naked coaching strategy, where like you're both naked in your mind, but there's no ego. It's like now we're talking to each other. We're naked right now. There's an authentic vibe. You guys can feel it. So it's like getting the person to that point and really saying, hey man, listen, I can help you. Like, you're here, right? Do you trust me? You need some positive reinforcements of a yes. Yes. Cool. Do you feel like I can help you? Yes. Right. Is there any reason why we wouldn't work together other than the money, it's sales stuff? No. So it's yes. You're 100% in. Okay, cool. There's one thing that's going to hold us back here. This person. And just sort of like let that pin drop. But before you go in and try and change it, let it come out of them first. Mm-hmm. Hey, I've tried this. We got divorced, this and that. I'm like, cool. So I can help you 100%. I can get you here. But this thing in your life, whether it's a person, whether it's a job, whether it's whatever, could be an issue. So how are we going to
figure that out?
Yeah, this is like, I'm your biggest cheerleader. But at the end of the day, I can only be with you for a certain amount of time per day. You're with this person
your whole life,
10 hours a day. Your kids could be a partner, could be anything.
Yeah.
So, and I think, as you guys know, and the problem of being a person that wants to help people with coaching is like, I have to allow my ego to let go. I'm like, dude, dude, they could be perfect client. They pay you plenty of money. They're committed with you. But the problem is it's the 18 hours a day when you're not with them.
It's that constant.
Dude, I have to let them go, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I can't help you.
Yeah.
And it's sad because you think, how many people wake up every day and roll over and look at someone they don't love? They get put on pants and clothes to a place, to a job they don't like. Repeat Monday to Friday, maybe with the kids that they didn't really want to have, and there's no love with the kids anymore. And I've had people tell me this firsthand when I was traveling. Jay, I live for Sundays between 4 and 6, where I can have a slice of pizza and a beer. 2 hours of your week is happiness, bro. And that's always been drained. That was always been inside of me, where I'm like, I want to do something that makes me come alive. I don't want anything else to control me, or, I want to be in a place where I never have that. Because that's, dude, you talk to a lot of friends, they're a lot like that.
Yeah.
Their happiness is the coffee they have from 10
and that's
to
what they're
10:30.
looking for. It's like, Friday's here. Oh my God. Yes. And you see how excited they get because Friday, the weekend's here. But you're not enjoying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, And it's just like you're allowing yourself to go through that routine, because at the end of the day, you're the one allowing it. Everything can be changed. Yeah. Yes, it might be hard. Even the family around you, you can change that.
Yeah.
The person you're with, you can change that. You don't have to accept that.
Dude, very few people are literally chained to their bed, and that's a whole other story, but you're not. And it takes time. But at the end of the day, like, it's all on you, man. It ain't on me. It ain't on us guys. It's not on your husband, your wife, your job, your financial situation. Dude, it's 100% take responsibility of you. I'm in the position today because of me, right? And I know people that may trigger some people listening to this. Well, Jay, you don't understand my story. Hey, listen, I don't want to hear about all that. Dude, we've all gone through shit, right? So what do you want to do about it? Are you serious, or do you want to stay complaining?
Oh, man, I love that. And it's crazy because when you do make that choice, you make the plunge to go forward, an interesting thing starts happening. So I don't know if this has happened to you. I'm pretty sure it has. When you decide to make that change and you're stepping into the new version of yourself, the old people that knew you, when you see them again, they're like, hey, Jay, you're different, and they start talking to you as if you were the old Jay.
Yeah, the magician Jay.
The magician Jay, but you're not that person no more. How do you deal with that?
Dude, there's a great meme. Let's put this up on Instagram or something. There's a great meme of a worm and a butterfly. Have you seen the meme?
Yep.
The worm says the butterfly,
talking to each other,
you've
right?
changed. And the butterfly says, we're supposed to. Dude, that's magic right there. I want to print that out and put that on as a feature piece when I have my own house someday. But, dude, yeah. Dude, and you know what is true? They said the hardest thing for me, one of the hardest things in my life was to let people go from Australia, from people I've met, because they were not good for my life. And that's really hard for me, It's these people and they were entrepreneurs as well, but they were playing at a level 2.
Yeah.
Talking before about playing bigger, they were like 100,000 a year is good enough for them. And they would call me and tell me their problems, and I'll be like, eventually, like, I can't help you anymore, man. Like, you need to let that go in your life. Let that go. I'm trying to pull people up, and they don't want to be pulled up. And it's sad, man. I had to literally just fizzle it out.
Yeah.
And I know they talk shit. I do. I know they do. But I can't, man, like, I don't, if I keep playing in your world, I'm going to be where you are.
That's right. And a lot of times people want to hold others back because they're scared they're going to lose you, or they're scared that they're not going to be able to be around you, or they're scared that they can't have what you have. And many times people will do that. And you see that a lot with friends and family and stuff like that.
Especially with relationships too.
Yeah.
Dude, the amount of women that I know that hold men back, the amount of men that I know that hold women back. Dude, she wants to be an artist.
I can tell you stories, man.
Dude,
personal stories.
Yeah. Unfortunate, it hasn't happened to me as much. I just feel that, I'm pretty convicted of who I am, and I'll, my ego's too big to allow someone to pull me down, but it should be, you know what I mean? Like, we are who we are.
Yeah. But
I've seen guys have had friends that have allowed significant others in their lives to stop them from victory because of the person's insecurities.
And that's not love. No,
dude, you should be in a Batman and Robin relationship where both you're helping each other. You're a wingman.
100%.
100.
Dude,
love is when you say, hey, you have your individual goals, I have my individual goals, and we have our relationship goals. How can we support each other, and how can we make these goals that we have together happen?
Yeah. And that's very hard for people to understand, and then the first thing that comes up with people, what do you know? What do you know, Jay? Mr. Flamboyant guy, travels around the world, dating. Like, what do you know? That's ego. I have to, I've been with people too much to let it out. Okay, cool. You may be right. Maybe I don't know. But tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. And at least, here's the thing is, even though at the end of the day, we don't have it all figured out. But if you're proactive and you're taking steps to get better and try to figure things out, that's what counts.
Yeah.
So I can tell people what I do know is I'm moving.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I'm moving.
Yeah. I'm not frozen. Yeah, dude.
And that's where most people stay. They stay in that frozen mindset, that frozen position, and they allow themselves to just crumble down.
And then they want to chuck out comments and negative at other people. And I'm the first person to tell them to be quiet. I'm like, hey, what have you done?
Yeah.
Hey, at least he's trying. At least he's putting himself out there, especially in my space. Some girls will say, it's like, hey, shut up. That's not, what have you done in the last month? She's showing up and doing content. Okay, maybe she's not the most likable, but at least she's going to get more of the work.
She's doing it.
Because you're the one sitting on your landing page.
So don't
wanting to be like perfect with your reels. Dude, she's showing up. She's reaching out. She's doing podcasts. Like, be quiet.
Yeah. I love that. And when it comes to that, when it comes to, some of the clients you work with, how do you teach them to deal with a lot of those individuals where maybe they're sending them, hating comments or DMs and stuff like that as a brand, as a business owner, as a personality? What do you teach your clients? How do you teach them to handle that? How do you teach them to go around that? And how do you teach them to, hey, don't let that bring you down. You need to continue on.
I'm very immersive with that. So I go on Fiverr.com and I pay people to give them negative comments. And the reason I do that is because I want to deal with the problem up front. So for example, right, and you guys can use this, you can't to condition yourself, you have to condition yourself, right? So I know what's going to happen when they're going to get rejected. And if they get rejected from someone that they really like and value, that will stop their journey. It will be hard for me to fix it. So what I want to do is I want to get into sparring with them early. So I used to go on Fiverr, right? Now I have friends and other people just, hey, give them some negative comments, right? Because I want to break them. And then what? So
you're testing.
I'm testing them. I'm conditioning them early, right? And I try to do it on things like I don't do it on a feed post because it will stay there. I do it on a story post, so it comes in their DMs, right? So I'll say do the story post, and I'll tell my friends, hey, say something bad, not too bad, but just to give them some
scare them a little bit.
So then, hey, what happened? Oh, dude, these people said, how did it make you feel? And they said, oh, dude. I said, can I tell you something? I did that. What? I did that. Well, what? If you can't deal with 5 people who are saying that, how are you supposed to deal with people who don't know you want to bring you down? Once again, pin drop. You're right. And I do that constantly. And when you work with me for a long time, it's like Floyd Mayweather. He's in the ring. I'm sure he has a strat. Like, he had guys come in who's like, take him down. I'll pay you money if you can take him down. Because that would treat him to be a soldier, right? Mm-hmm. That's the same thing with me. Even for me. Like, I'll go out to do things that I know I'm going to get rejected, or I'll push content out that's going to get some feedback, some tension feedback, because I need to it's soft for yourself for me sometimes. You know what I mean? Because I think I've got it sorted a little bit in my life. So it's hard for people to take me down if I'm taking myself down first.
Totally.
So I'll put myself in positions where I'm going to get drilled. I'll make a comment about the masculine to feminine energy, Trump. I want to trigger, because then I want to wake up, dude, and I'm like, shit. That hurts me. So to your question, I put him through hell, because then what happens when they get a negative response and I'm not there, the blow's not as hard.
And they know how to deal with it.
Otherwise, they're gonna get hit, bro, and they're gonna go. I'm out.
Yeah.
And I can't sell someone if they're not willing to show up, dude.
That's right, dude. I love that. So what would you say, or who would you say? Obviously, you don't have to share names, but who would you say is one of the clients that you saw break down the most and really change and really skyrocket from there forward?
One guy named Bobby Jones, shout out. He's part of the EXP Realty Group.
Okay.
Right? You know EXP Realty is one of the fastest growing real estate companies in the world. He was flipping houses and, doing his thing. And I told him how to connect with people on a personal level. And that was hard for him because he's, the flipper guy. You know what I mean? Flip deals. Yo, what's up, man? Deal. Teaching them how to come out and actually engage with people on camera. Dude, most people are not good at that. It's not, you talk into a camera, that's for TV presenters like myself. That's for people content creators. So taking a male who's doing very well financially and teaching him now has to reveal, breaking him through that, he's getting tremendous success, and people hey man, thank you for sharing that story. Hey man, I love that you shared about that with your kids. So that's my exciting thing, when I take someone and show them what's possible that they've never done before.
That's awesome.
Who was your mentor? Did you ever have one?
No, man. No, back in Australia, there was no such thing. That's why I left Australia. There's a thing called the tall poppy syndrome. You heard that before?
Never.
New Zealand, there are 2 poppies, flowers, poppies in the fields, right? And the one small poppy says to the big poppy, I want to grow up and be bigger and taller than you. And all the tall poppy goes, you can do it. You can make it. And what happens? He shoots up. And what do? They cut his stem down. They don't want you more successful than them. And in New Zealand and in Australia and UK, there's a thing called the 50% mentality. It's enough. hey, you married? You have a kid? You make 60 grand a year? That's enough, bro. What do you need more? And eventually, dude, the success mentality in Australia and New Zealand and in UK, it's not like America. That's why I came here. Dude, it's not like I work up and go, I want to be an American. Dude, I want to be in a place and a country with 300 million people that are like, you can go for your dreams. Dude, you can come here and be a baker. You can come here and be a baseball player. You can come here and be a magician, an agency owner, and people are like, hey man, whatever you want to do, just work hard. That's right. But in Australia, it's like, dude, that's enough. Mate, it's 4:00 on a Thursday. We'll do a meeting on Monday. Monday, it's Thursday. Yeah, Monday afternoon. That's how I'm out.
Wow.
And then I lived in Singapore and Hong Kong. Like, dude, they're like.
I was about to say.
Oh, dude.
That's like the whole complete opposite.
Yeah, dude. They're like business, dude. Business dinners. When I lived in Tokyo.
In Spanish, it would be like, ahí vienen los chinos. Like, here come the Chinese.
Yeah.
Because you know they're going to
come the Chinese.
No, they never close down.
In Spanish, that's how I'm telling you.
Dude, did you see the Chinese made that artificial sun?
Oh, I saw that.
Oh my gosh. When I saw that, you saw it was like a rocket.
And it came up.
I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, China. Just, how can we control the whole earth?
Pretty much.
Yeah. No sun, we'll control our own sun.
Crazy.
Google, we'll have our own Google, thank you. No Facebook. No, we control everything. It's the truth.
And what's crazy is that they pick and choose. Well, in a way, what was it we were talking about the other day about the whole thing with what they're showing the kids? You brought it up about what China's doing on social media.
Yeah, they're just conditioning the population.
100%.
Big time. And I'm sure they do it here too in the United States in its own way. They're already doing it. You can see it in the media what we're looking at.
But China's just way more drilled. Like
way more drilled.
Like is it they still allowed to do one kid? Is that how they said like only one kid?
I think they stopped it now. Stopped it now. But I know they had that for a while.
Yeah, but it's just it's crazy.
They're actually talking about that China might actually go into a decline because of that policy. But right now, I
mean,
mean,
China ain't going into decline, dude. I feel like China's just got so much cash. Dude, if we can print cash, why can't China print cash?
Pretty much.
I wonder how much, like, imagine being at the top of that level. Not even, people should Google this thing. It's called 12 leaders. It's called the 12 leaders that run the world. And every year they hang out in London at a hotel for 3 days. And now I don't know how much of this is the truth or not, but it sounds cool.
It does sound cool.
They control, they're higher than, they run the planet, right? And they're like, hey, what should we do for this year? What should we do for this year? And then,
talk about thinking bigger, huh? About bigger goals, huh?
Well, you know what, man? That old money's real, though. Because think about this. We're watching this show called Men That Made America.
Oh, yeah, okay? I've heard about this.
You've heard about it.
Crazy.
Should I watch it?
You should watch it.
Watch it. You're going to get hyped.
Yeah.
But this guy,
and it's a show from what, like 2012, 2013?
No, it's not that old. It's
2014?
It's pretty new.
Okay.
This guy, Rockefeller, when they calculated...
John D. Rockefeller, his wealth, he would lend to the bank. He would lend to the Queen of England. Like, he was the guy you'd go to.
Crazy.
The banks would borrow from him. Like, how much money this guy got?
No, think about that. And J.P. Morgan, he bailed out the United States. So there's money that's so deep. That's why when you say the 12 families, it's not conspiracy.
Oh, no, I believe it. I just wonder how, like, for me, I'm such a conspiracy fun magician kind of mindset where I'm like, wonder what conversations do they have?
Yeah.
Are they like, imagine the power they could pick. Well, imagine their Rolodex. Hey, we need to have a complete pandemic. We need to change the world in, let's say this is 2005. Okay, cool. Hey, listen, we're going to make a virus. I need in 2 years a virus to be made to take out the planet. Make it happen. Done. Yeah, this is going to happen. China's going to go here.
This is going to happen over here.
Cool. And hey, can you get me the croissant? Thank you so much. Anyway, so back.
Yeah. By the way, that's not working the way it's supposed to. Somebody go do this so we can bring it back in line to
exactly. Yeah, make a virus, take out the world, please. Dude, the amount of money, like just get the top 50 scientists of their field, take them. Like, it's not even they have to just, like, what do you call it where you blackmail someone? Like, they're so powerful, they don't even have to say that. It's like, get the top 50 scientists. It's like, pay them, blackmail, like, just get them, put them in this one place, make a virus, tell them home, give them whatever they want.
I mean, man, and you can strong arm nations. Because think about it. If someone's not part of that pact, tell them, hey, you know what, cool, you don't want to sign this deal with us? Embargo.
Dude, look at Australia. Look at Australia, man. Like, people said, what about Australia? I said, you mean jail? Dude, Australia, Melbourne used to be the number 3 living city in the world. I think it's the worst city, first world city in the world. Dude, it's so controlled. They're like, there's more.
dude, whoever's the New World Order, someone's controlling Australia. The government is, it's just...
Even Canada, man. Canada's another one that's like...
You know,
a lot of shit.
And I feel bad because, like, it's not like, oh, it's just Canada. Dude, Miami, there is no problems here. Like, I don't know how many cases, but we don't have it. The governor.
I love this state.
Dude, why do you think I moved here? Yeah, from LA, dude. And we are flying strong. Like, they are here. What's that governor's name? I should know his name. Mr.
DeSantis. Yeah.
He's got that massive 44 jacket that he always wears. It's over like so big, right? And he's like, I am not allowing anything to happen here. Dude, supposedly this guy walks into a restaurant, people cheer.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm like, dude, what do you need? Do you need my seat? Dinner's on me.
The unique thing about Miami, because we're a rebel city here. You have people here that do not trust the government. You have Cubans, they don't like communism. You have Venezuelans, don't even bring conversation to them. All the Latin American countries, when you start talking about government and control, they're like, hey, no, we're not doing that.
We lived it.
The Haitians, same way. There's always a mistrust with the government because we've seen firsthand what happens when you start letting these big organizations take control of your life and start dictating what to do. So that's why, like, it's been tough to control, like, Florida because it's just a rebel state. Everybody here just says, hey, screw it.
Interesting.
And then you got Texas on the other side.
They're good, right?
Yeah, that's like they're like a little country themselves too.
I heard they went to the area where someone would sign it. They with guns. You remember that when this happened? Like everyone just brought guns. I'm like, listen,
and they just rolled up like that.
Yeah, no, I heard some guy rolled up with a missile, like a rocket launcher. And he's like, listen, I'm gonna either shoot this,
I'm gonna fuck you up right now.
or you're gonna just. This is not gonna happen from today. This is supposedly like what happened. And it wasn't one dude. It was like 4 people with like. Imagine that. Hey, Timmy, go grab the missile rockets. We're going to the city. Yeah, we'll have fun. We'll grab RPGs. We'll grab Denny's on the way. All right, cool. They just there. So sign it, or we're taking the building down.
Blow it up.
They're like,
done.
Like they've got guns, bro. Like, what are you gonna fight them?
That's why people are scared of Texas and Florida.
But why? Okay, so if they're scared, why is everyone moving down here? Because we have people
because they're realizing
what's up.
Yeah. Dude, there's so much business.
I'd rather be on the side where I know.
Dude, like, if you want to come out and like try and like start a gang, I don't know if I would do that, but like, dude, come here, just be good, do good business, have fun time.
Totally.
Everyone's like, be free. Look, spend money with us. We will help you back. Like,
I don't want to get into conspiracies, okay?
Right.
The pandemic and everything has been crazy.
Right.
All right. It's real. When anyone says it's fake, they're out of their mind. But it's a real thing. But when the start of the pandemic happened, we would drive around. I was freaking out. I was like, what's going on here?
Right.
I see massive tents in these locations.
Really?
And I would drive by it, and it was empty. There's people that I would know that would tell me, hey, they're empty. So it was just so interesting.
Interesting tents? Like there were tents that were empty?
Brother, there was tents empty.
Why?
And there were certain news stations, like I think it was CNBC or CNN, some of these, or MSNBC, that were literally paying companies to set up fake tents in front of places. I heard about that too.
I don't know if they were fake, because these were official government tents that they were making. So these were tents that the government was funding, the counties, these municipalities were setting them up, and then...
What was inside of them?
Just doctors, because they were anticipating an overflow at the hospitals into those. And it's the same issue in New York. I remember in New York, they were talking in the news.
Right.
Hey, these tents are empty. No one has walked in.
Right.
So it's like, the pandemic is bad, crazy. But what's going on? Like, it's weird. Everything's just weird.
I always think of it like a magic trick. The magician comes out on stage. You're supposed to be looking there the next minute. Where'd the elephant come from? Right? Did you ever watch that Masked Magician Revealed show? Did you guys ever see it?
Which one's that one?
It was like this guy who wore a mask on TV, and he did very well because he showed how the trick was done. And it was all about misdirection, right? It's an old school show. But it's the same thing with like now. When that's happening, what else is happening? What are they covering? Is this a bigger play? Like, is this like a level 2? Like, they've already said aliens are here. Like, is this an alien thing?
Oh, they're here.
They're here. Like, is this like... Are they like, hey, listen, someone's about to go down in 3 years. We just have to cover it now.
You know what? Top of pandemic.
You know what I think is going to be crazy, though? It's all the shit with the metaverse. All the digital, living in the digital world, all that stuff. It's like, I feel like they want you to be in there. Plugged. Which we already been trained to be plugged.
It's the
We're already in the metaverse.
Yeah.
TV was the first start of metaverse. I
Right.
said all the time. TV, social media, gaming is a 2D version of the metaverse.
Right.
You're just not in it.
Right.
But you're plugged.
Right.
So we've been walking in a metaverse since TV has started.
Right.
And now even more because when the phone came out, it's on you all the time. TV was, you were plugged in for when you were sitting down at home. Then you got gamings, and then the phones plugged you in.
Yeah.
Now you can actually get in there, and I feel like it's like now it's like I start thinking, I'm like, man, our country more and more, especially the youth, they just want to live in there, escape real life, and live in there, literally live in there. What's gonna happen when these people become adults? Like, who's gonna run the country?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? Like, are things gonna maneuver? You're allowing yourself open to be striked or be attacked, hacked.
Yeah.
It's just, to me it's insane.
Right.
To me it's insane. Like, it's like, where are things going? And it's just interesting, man. It's interesting to even think that we're here. We're living it right now. It's happening.
Right.
What you see in movies from the 80s, the 70s, the 90s.
Yeah.
Talking about these things, and they're like, we're living it right now.
I find it interesting because we're at an age where, like, we're older enough to, like, make money and be our own self and, like, make choices. You're right. We're at a really interesting time in the next 10 years for us when we're, like, 40 is a young dude. Like, you can look at Grant Cardone in 63 and still killing it. So, obviously, we got 30 years
Totally.
of, like, probably even 40 of, like, complete focus, and we can run our life to our full extent. So, we have the next 40 years of technology. Dude, what happened in the last 10 years? Did we have iPhones 10 years ago?
Not like
iPhone
this.
first one came in 08, I think. The first
Really?
iPhone came out in 2008. Yeah, it was 2008.
Right.
First
And that was
iPhone.
still, like, internet was still pretty slow on that, right?
It was. They made it more about the apps.
Yeah.
Remember the whole app?
That's right.
App craze.
Yeah. Dude, now I just press one button and I go live to China. I can go Tokyo right now in 5 seconds.
Yep.
Dude, you can send copious amounts of money with one button.
Yeah.
How great was Cash App and Venmo when it came out?
Oh my God,
Like,
Zelle.
Dude, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have to go to the ATM. I get stung with a fee, $3.60. Or when Uber took over taxis, that was the best thing ever for me.
That was crazy. Talk about disruption, man. Talk about disruption.
The metaverse, I get scared of it sometimes because it's brand new and everything, but I think everyone's hyping it up too. I think what it's going to be is Facebook and these corporations, they're going to make it like the workspace. So instead of you going to an office, because how are you ever going to replace physical touch and like doing these different things?
I've heard some crazy stories, dude.
It's
the VR sex stuff. Have you seen that? Have you heard about?
Oh,
Is that what
dude,
you mean?
people putting on full-on suits where they can feel everything in VR chat.
Yeah.
Going to strip clubs and doing
weird.
all this stuff, and then other weird shit happening where now guys are pretending to be girls and girls are pretending, and then you get kids who are even acting as adults, and they're now getting into investigations of sexual harassment and all this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
but how do you
You're an
govern
actor.
that?
You're an actor in a different whole suit.
Insane. And they're like, no, but that's really me. That's my VR me. And it's crazy because let's talk about a little bit about the status and stuff. What's crazy is that here's the crazy part. And this is why I know people are going to get consumed in it. You can be poor in the real world. You can be fucking mega rich in the virtual world.
Right.
And guess what? You can be rich out here. You can be poor as fuck in the virtual world. So when you're rich out here and you go in there, that guy who's poor in real life, he's the boss. You ain't got nothing. And that's where that's where they're like, that's why people love it so much, because they're like, I can't make it here. I can fucking make it here.
Right.
And that's why people are so consumed with it. And that's why people are like, holy shit. Like, I was even hearing a thing of like, crazy, but like even like talking about like VR, like not VR, metaverse jail, where it's like if you break a law or you do something wrong in there, you
just go to jail.
You literally, you put your goggles, you're in jail. Like, you can't get out of it. So you can't go explore, and it's gonna hurt you in the future because you can't conduct business. You can't do anything.
They'll see like, hey, they look at you in VR.
Oh, and they'll know you're in jail and you're fucked. So it's like it's like real life, and the thing is that
But your profile's seen straight away too. Like, that's what I mean.
you're and you pop up in a jail, in a VR jail, and you cannot get out. So it's so crazy because it's like you're gonna see people go nuts because if you're doing business there, you're doing stuff. You have meetings, you have important stuff. Let's say for your branding, you're running your business. You're in VR jail. And that's where everything's moving to. You're fucked. So people are going to go crazy. I'm just thinking like...
Yeah, you're playing like chess, not checkers.
Like,
yeah.
Holy shit. Like
Dude, what about cheating? Like marriage cheating in
that's
Venezuela?
weird. Yeah, now that's a taboo thing.
That's a taboo thing. That's
Well,
so weird.
people are like, hey, what are you watching right now, babe? I'm not watching anything. Show me. No, you show me. You're at a strip club again? You know? And this is Metaverse Strip Club where all of your fantasies, it isn't just, oh, and then the girls in the club, this tonight. Anything you want from any country you want, how big, how small, the ass is big, whatever you want it. And it's literally not real. Then, you know, it's like, have you watched Black Mirror?
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, it's the same thing. They're in this elusive world and they take off the headset and they like do this. Like, I don't want this. Did you see the episode of the two black guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Wow.
was weird.
That was
That
first episode of the new season.
That was
right?
crazy.
If anyone's
That was crazy.
listening right now, so Black Mirror is like, it's this.
You gotta
just
watch
watch it. It's hard to explain, but it's basically like certain unique stories. Every episode's a unique story of like the future or something makes you think, right? And there are these two black guys playing a video game, and they're like best friends. And then one of the black guys, without revealing it too much, is playing as a woman, and then they end up having sex
The virtual.
in the virtual, and it's like
One's a girl, one's a guy.
yeah, and he's like, that's it real? Is it not real? But then they think it's weird, and then is it week or something? They start going there and playing, and then having sex like this intense.
And one of them's married.
One of them is married
With, I think, kids. And
yeah, and it was just, but the drama of that, because it's like, I'm having sex with you, but
You're a girl, but you're a guy.
you're a guy, and then they met up. Remember?
In person.
In person, and then he went to go try kiss him. He's like, "No, bro, this is."
They
too
beat each
weird."
other up, I think, right? They start fighting.
It's so past the weirdness of like two best friends being into each other. It's like, what is real anymore? Dude, you guys watch it, Black Mirror.
Man, you know what's crazy? Imagine, like, going back to, like, here, super conspiracy here, but let's say the 12 people, right? Imagine for years through movies from the 80s to 60s, and they've been conditioning on purpose because they know this is coming, and they've been just trying to embed it into people's minds.
I think if you go on YouTube, you can put
all that
like
stuff.
real life, whatever you call it, in movies, like movies that show you the truth. You know, have you seen the Simpsons? You seen the Simpsons conspiracy?
Oh yeah.
That's powerful stuff, dude. Put in Simpsons conspiracy in YouTube. Him and like Matt Groening, is it, in the 90s? He shows cartoons. You're like, that's 2011. That's September 1. 2001, sorry, September 11, 2001. In 1992, a plane going into the towers, falling, right? There's one of Trump being president.
Yes.
You're like,
yeah. Even Back to the Future had Trump as a president.
you start to think, like, is it someone in the future, or is it
It's a higher being,
higher
or is
being?
it a group of people who are controlling it to happen? Because they're just, hey, this is what's gonna happen. You just don't know it.
Yeah. Like
and just training people to, that's a possibility.
I love what you said. Like, as I said, with the conditioning, if it's at the beginning, it's a shock. But if people are seeing it and they've already seen Trump, maybe it's like, listen, we need to get Trump to win. But start putting him into movies. Do it 10 years out, because we need that to happen, to be that to happen.
Over and over.
Think
again.
of it like doing a business plan for your business, but imagine having the world's business plan.
It's like advertising touch points.
Yeah.
You need, especially now in today's world, you need at least 16 or 22 touch points for somebody to buy something.
Is it that high now? I
Yeah.
thought it was 7.
It used to be 6 to 7.
then everybody's going to be getting
Oh.
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
And it's insane. But it's like the same thing goes, like, imagine how many touch points you need to become the president. You know, how many times seems, over and over for years and years and years.
They're already conditioning us with the aliens. I'm
Yeah.
ready to see some aliens
Dude,
right now.
I'm open for it, man.
I'm open for it.
I'm open to it too.
I would love just a big spectacle event where someone gets, like, it's maybe New Year's Eve and some UFO comes. I'm like, let's roll. Let's do it, you know? I'll go and buy alienadvertising.com. I'll be like,
Oh
I got that
my
domain.
God.
What's next? You know,
Start
buy the
making t-shirts.
Instagram. Yeah.
Ooh, damn. What a podcast. What a freaking
was good,
podcast.
man.
I loved it,
it.
man. Yo,
Thank
Jay,
you.
brother, I appreciate
Thank
it,
you,
man.
guys.
Dude, what is the biggest piece of advice you can leave off to everybody today that they can take home, start utilizing from everything that we talked about?
Get out of your head. Stop telling yourself those stories. The stories will either make you fly or make you die.
Done. Powerful.
Facts.
Where can people find you, bro? Where can they connect with you?
At JJ Live, JayJaylive. Send me a DM. Say you saw me on this podcast, or acespadesagency.com. If you want to get some moves and get some wins, get verified, get on TV, and really have a plan of attack for this year, because we all know we need to be seen. Like, people are sitting right now going, I'm so good at what I do. I just need some help. I need to advertise, do something. I'm your guy.
Boom. You heard it from JJ himself. Guys, if you got value out of this podcast, if there's one thing that stuck out to you, we would really appreciate if you like, subscribe, comment, share, save, spread some love, because the more love you show us, the more love we can show back. Till next time, guys, on the Sweat It Out podcast.